Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Beacon Pines and its eerily quiet title screen. We're going to go ahead and jump right back in. I think as it gets going here, we're going to get another...
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. Two boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene, in a silent treehouse turned statuary. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together, for the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't.
Yeah, as of episode 3, I'm still learning where the game loads back in, but yeah, this is right where we left off, starting right here. Oh, I don't know why we didn't get a line there. I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either.
There are more endings, more possibilities. I can feel it. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Okay, so that brings us here, although we do have the option to break. And again, I think I want to aim at doing the smallest changes out on the furthest branches. I want to sort of prioritize that. But let's take a look to see. So here we also have flight. Yeah, so we've got an option out there for flight, but this is where we were. So let's go ahead and try where break would go. Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the cause. So this is when Luca was about to leave Beck's house, and we had the choice between whether or not the sky would rumble, and this time we're going to choose the alternative, break.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to break, revealing patches of star-filled summer night. Moonlight filtered down, shimmering in the treetops.
Sure, you can meet Rollo. You're not going home? No, I promised Rollo I'd tell him about...
Luca stopped himself mid-sentence.
Promised you'd tell him what? Spit it out, bub. We're thick as thieves now. If there's a juicy secret, you've gotta tell me. Okay. You can come to the treehouse and I'll tell you both what happened. Heck yeah. Oh. Let's do it.
Luca saw Beck skulking by the gate.
So, you're telling me there's nothing mysterious or creepy about this place? It's mostly boring and empty. I refuse to believe that. Big spiked gate, looming mansion, rich reclusive owners. It even smells shady.
Beck grabbed the wrought iron bars and shook the gate.
Mark my words, you decadent nightmare house. You will reveal your secrets to me. Look, she's crying, too. What did you do? Well, first of all, I told you so. Second, hide. That's Eris Valentine. Who's that she's talking to? Shh. I expect you to return that suit in working order.
Of course. As long as everything proceeds as planned, there's nothing to worry about.
The only thing I'm worried about is what's rightfully mine. If that means making some unsavory alliances, so be it.
I couldn't agree more. There comes a time to suspend hostilities. I'll deal with our common threat.
Now this is what I was talking about.
Beck's voice was an excited whisper.
Proper shady stuff. Look how jazzed she is. Someone in a suit like that tried to grab me yesterday. Seriously? Shh. You do understand that when all this inevitably fails, I will deny everything?
I wouldn't expect any less of you. You just worry about your part in this, and let me handle the rest.
I can't wait to see the look on that Rube Kerr's face.
Yes, the truth will come to light.
I'm still surprised you're so comfortable with the potential collateral damage.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's that change is painful.
Wow, I was expecting shady, but that's just flat out supervillain talk. If you don't mind my asking, why? Why are you doing all of
The
this?
mysterious figure retracted their mask, hair pushing out from all corners.
No, tell me it's not grandmother. Oh, okay. That is not in any way who I thought it might be. Family.
A chill ran down Luca's spine, his vision blurred. Beck stifled a sharp wince, and Luca looked down to see himself wrenching her hand.
So, I guess, like, major spoilers at this point? An answer I can certainly respect.
Gran tousled her hair back under the face mask.
Yeah, no, she didn't. That would be literally physically impossible. She's got way too much.
Just remember, keep everything nice and normal until the festival.
I don't need lessons in rousing suspicion.
Gran gave Eris a curt nod and disappeared into the...
Oh, I did not mean to skip that.
Chapter 5.
Of all the people that could have been in there, like, I feel like, you know, Kerr and, like, the mayor at this point would have been, like, a little bit too obvious, but you could have asked me to name 50 people in the game, I would not have thought. I would have thought, like, the slackers up above the coffee shop before I would have thought of grandmother.
What big ears you have. Lucas sat shivering in the bushes, staring at his feet. After checking to make sure the coast was clear, Beck gave him a gentle tug on his sweater.
Does Beck even know grandmother? Like, she might not know that that's a relation of Luca. Yeah, see, there we go. What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Why were you so scared of that old lady in the hazmat suit? That was my gran. That was your gran. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this. Let's just get to the treehouse and figure things out there. Lead the way. So, this is incredibly different from the other version that we got, where it started raining and then Luca hung out at Beck's house for a while. I always go up there, but that's not where we go to the treehouse.
For the last time, there's nothing to worry about.
Of course, we're not worried.
The clipboard finished writing with a scratchy flourish and looked up.
Just dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Well, maybe try minding your P's and Q's.
Mr. Nuncreed, arms crossed over his paunch, gave an exhausted sigh.
If there's anything you need knowing, you'll know it.
Absolutely. If you just sign here, acknowledging everything is accurate, we'll be out of your hair in a flash.
Oh, for the love of...
He snatched the pad and scribbled his name so hard the pen nearly snapped.
There. And would you like my eternal soul as well?
The clipboards looked at each other for a moment, almost pondering the possibility, then broke into laughter as they walked away.
Ha 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 ha. How droll. We don't like him, by the way. Hi, Mr. Nuncreed.
Luca, let me give you some advice. The next time someone you don't know asks to hear your thoughts, give them a good hard bop right in the kisser.
Oh, Gran tells me to just keep away from the clipboards.
That's good, that's good. Your gran is a smart lady, Luca. Speaking of which, you better run along home now. Too dark out to be wandering on your own.
Yes, sir, Mr. Nuncreed. By the way, have fun with your... Oh, wait. The telephone booth is lit up. I can't imagine that it's going to tell us anything, but let's just look real quick. Nope. Okay. The answers you seek will be revealed to you in due time. The question is, the figure intoned, are you prepared to live with the truth? Another day, another dollar. See you tomorrow, Z. Have you noticed how all the Perennial Harvest folks order the same drink? Decaf cappuccino with extra foam? Why? I don't know. I just thought it's a little odd. Pretty weird for sure. Well, the customer's always right. See you bright and early tomorrow. I can't wait. Ugh. Hold on, let's look upstairs. Because these are all I better not dilly-dally. Gotta get to the treehouse. Like I said, this is a different time period than we were allowed to explore before. Hold on, let me just see up here. Yeah, normally there's a big dude sitting in his chair that's blocking the way, but doesn't seem like we can do anything there. Yeah. We're just gonna chill out on the post. This is how you look cool, Beck. Alright.
William Kerr and Gus Valentine proudly surveyed the half-covered festival banner.
It's all coming together quite nicely.
Couldn't have done it without you.
The mayor gave a half-hearted shrug.
I'm not so sure about that.
Nonsense. That reminds me, I wasn't able to thank your sister for her contributions.
Yes, she has been indisposed of late.
She doesn't much like me, does she?
Oh no, that's not it at all. She's just been busy.
Of course. Regardless, I would be forever grateful if you could pass on my thanks to her. The History Museum adds a real air of import to the whole affair, and we couldn't very well celebrate the story of Beacon Pines without including the Valentines.
My father was a great man.
You're darn tootin' he was.
Kerr locked his arm on Gus's shoulder.
But I mean the entire Valentine family, present company included.
Can I ask you something, Mr. Kerr?
Call me William. Ask away.
William, why are you doing all of this?
Gosh, I've never felt one needed a compelling reason to throw a party.
Not just the festival, all of this. There's gotta be 100 down in their luck towns out there. Why is Perennial Harvest so interested in helping Beacon Pines?
You know what I love most about the agricultural business? Seeds.
Seeds?
Yup, little bundles of potential.
With a glimmer in his eye, Kerr gestured grandly toward the horizon.
You treat a seed right, nurture it, feed it, and it can grow into something truly special.
You see potential here?
Oh, undoubtedly. The seed of greatness is already under our feet. All it needs is a little nudge. And the right leadership, of course.
Oh.
Good night, Mayor Valentine. Hello to Salamander! Salamander, I hope you've had a great Friday so far. Had a great time watching your Three Houses stream. Okay, so we overheard all of that, but did not participate directly. Let's go up to the treehouse. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, the treehouse is just a little further on from here. So, what's your buddy Rolo like? Rolo? He's... Rolo. Not particularly helpful. Sorry, I've just never thought about it. Lots of energy, he's funny, even when he's not trying to be. Things have been tough for his family since the foul harvest. It's about damn time you tell me what this foul harvest thingy is. It's kinda a long story. Well, hit me with the highlights. Okay. There used to be a fertilizer company here called Valentine's. They were kind of a big deal. Ooh, big deal fertilizer. Well, it was a big deal to us. Their stuff really worked. The farmers loved it. So Valentine's grew and grew. Beacon Pines pretty much grew around it. Most everyone in town either worked for Sharper Valentine or used his fertilizer. Things were good. I'm sensing a big but. Around 6 years ago, Sharper Valentine suddenly died, and something changed. Changed how? It could have been a bad batch. Maybe it was in the water or air or soil? Nobody knows. But all the crops died, and everyone blamed the Valentines. The foul harvest. Yeah. Valentine's fertilizer went out of business. Half the town lost their jobs. Sheesh. The next year the crops came back, but something was different. You plant a crop, do everything right, and it's sort of a crapshoot what happens. And no one knows why? Nope. I take it Rolo's farm got the short end of the stick? Yep, for some reason their farm was hit harder than others. That sucks. Things have gotten better since Perennial Harvest came to town. The Beacon Pines Reborn Initiative? Yep, first thing they did was give the town a deep scrub. They even put us up in hotels, one town over for a week, while they decontaminated the groundwater. We better get going. So that is the most thorough description that we've had of the foul harvest. Like, based on context, we've been able to work out here and there a little bit about what happened, but that's the closest thing to, like, an actual somebody saying it outright. Simlander has indeed had a great Friday. And says, 3 houses is huge. It is a very big game. Congratulations on reaching Act 2. Hold on. Rolo was, hey, yo. Hey, it's about time. I was about to give up and go home. Who's the new kid? My name's Beck. You must be Rolo. See, my reputation precedes me. Welcome to Mission Control.
Rolo waggled his head with pride.
You'll find we spared no expense in construction.
I've seen worse-looking piles of junk.
Thanks. Hey, Luca, you know the security concerns we talked about?
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting I made some improvements. Let me lock this baby down for a little test infiltration. Can't be too safe these days.
Hello to Caroluna! Caroluna, I hope you've also had a great Friday. He goes all out, doesn't he? Always. Okay. So, do we have to hit the target with something? That's what I would imagine. Whoops. Nope. Okay, well, close enough. Where did you guys get all this junk in the first place? There's a guy in town named Jeff who trades us junk for snacks. It's a growth business. Junk food for junk. Nice. Carolina says it just got better now. Carolina, that's a very kind thing to say. Thank you.
So, pretty sweet security, right?
It was imaginative, I'll give you that.
Luca, we sure we can trust this new recruit?
I'll vouch for her. Thanks, I guess.
Oh, Luca, you promised to fill me in about the Valentine warehouse.
Luca sucked in a long breath.
Yeah, no, Rolo, have a seat, because this is going to come as something of a shock. So, like I said, there was someone there.
What were they doing?
I don't know, but the place was lit up and active.
Maybe there were squatters.
I don't think so. It seemed more organized. When the man pulled me in, I saw some sort of equipment running.
A man pulled you in?
Yeah, but I got away. You keep saying it was a man? They were wearing a mask, right? Yeah. Then it could have been a woman?
How did you get away?
I grabbed a rock or something and broke their mask. They let go and I ran.
Dang.
Yeah, that's intense. No wonder you freaked out when you saw your grandma. By the way, yeah, you didn't mention that, did you? Yeah, that's the other part. On our way here, yeah, so Caroloon and Samlander, if you missed this a minute ago, on our way here, Beck and I saw Eris Valentine meeting with Gran, wearing the same sort of hazmat suit.
Rollo let out a low whistle.
And they weren't there for idle chit-chat. It was a proper clandestine meetup.
So let me get this straight. There's an operation in full swing at the Valentine warehouse, and you were almost abducted by a strange man or woman in a protective suit. And then you saw your Gran in the same suit talking to Eris Valentine?
Pretty much. I'm beginning to think this town is kind of awesome.
Rollo and Luca shot back a look.
No offense.
And so we can logically conclude aliens or alien zombies have invaded the town. And their leader is your Gran, and she tried to murder you.
First of all, and for the last time, there are no aliens. Second, it couldn't have been my Gran at the warehouse. I broke that person's mask to get away. The mask Gran was wearing wasn't damaged. But she's definitely hiding something. Maybe.
Your Gran is weird, but she might be the most boring person in the universe. All she does is sit around all day making jam. What could she possibly have to hide?
I don't know, we haven't talked much since she moved in. Moved in? Your Gran isn't from here? No, she came a few months back to take care of me after
his mom went missing. Yo, Beck, have you heard how Luca's mom isn't here? It's a topic we really like to talk about all around town.
Did you know your Gran before? Not really, no. It had been years since I'd seen her. Luca, don't take this the wrong way, but are we sure your Gran is on the up and up?
Luca gazed out the window.
I'm just saying. It sounds like strange stuff has been happening since she showed up.
Hey, we could say the same thing about your family, but you're right. Luca, your Gran is hiding something. And Pa always says, folks only bury stuff worth digging up.
Sorry, I'm thinking about all the various things that people bury that you wouldn't want to dig up, but
we need to investigate your house.
If my Gran really is hiding something, don't you think I would have noticed by now? That's kind of the whole point of hiding something. I guess you're right. Gran's been leaving the house for hours at a time this week. I'll call you two tomorrow when the coast is clear, and we can start getting to the bottom of this.
I'm always game for a good snoop.
Hold on. You can count me in.
Chapter 6. Secret Lair.
Caroluna says that an alarm has already been set to watch the first 20 minutes when you and me are done. Yeah, it sort of jumped right in, and we got a big, plot drop right away.
Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder. Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
Oh no, I wanted to get a drink. Hold on. Oh man. It's like the worst time to get a drink. There's not even like a musical track going. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. What time is it? Okay. So somebody knocked. Oh yeah, no, we definitely got to go downstairs. That's gonna be Rollo and Luca. Sorry, Rollo and Beck. Rollo, what on earth is that? That ridiculous thing on your head.
Oh, this? It helps me think.
Beck coming in with the fire. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast is clear? Yep, whatever she's been up to this week has been keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I was a Gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Aha!
Coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Or maybe that's what she wants you to think. Then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost to ash. Okay. I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere your Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah, the closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's locked. Well, well, well. Look who stands to reason now. And I have no idea where the key is. Well, if it really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm gonna take this important thing and huck it into a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. But it doesn't matter anyway, I can't reach the latch.
A look of realization crept onto Luca's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
Whereupon they immediately bumped into the dishes and knocked them all over. All right, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. Now I shall proceed
Before
with...
he could finish, Luca scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick, and every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. That's what I always say. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it.
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah, I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey, let me just yank on this random teacup
As
and...
Beck pulled on one of the teacups, it slanted forward with a hollow click. The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Seems like your Gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, Dude, hold on. Yay, it's me, Rollo. Dude, only two types of people have secret layers. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So, which one do we think she is? We're about to find out. Oh, it's Silk! Thank you so much for the raid! Hello to Silk and everybody coming over. So we are playing Beacon Pines, the game with a lot of story that makes it, you know, a little bit difficult to interact directly with chat. But more importantly, like, we're getting into the part where now there's like some major spoilers happening for the story. So if you are interested in a very like cleverly told, very colorful, very fun sort of narrative game. I saw this was filed under like visual novel. you might want to jump out now. We always appreciate the lurk, but I also want to make sure that nobody gets spoiled. Silk says, Deaf Nation attacking. Also, hello to Angel in chat. Silk, I don't remember offhand if you live in the United States. If so, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving yesterday. And if you live outside the United States, hopefully you're headed into a wonderful weekend. All right, so here's Beck. So more of an unhinged conspiracist vibe. Oh, wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. We need to look around before jumping to conclusions. Also, like, Gran, like, I'm just saying that, like, Gran just arrived. When did all the remodeling take place? This would have been something that Luca's parents would have had, I feel like. Now, what do we have here? Barrels marked caution explosive. And jam jars? That's enough jam to feed the whole town. What kind of incendiary jam is your Gran making? Silk says, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I did try experiencing before, like, for like 11 years ago. Well, then hopefully just Silk a great Thursday, and hopefully your Friday is heading into like a very relaxing weekend. Fingers crossed. I always look forward to the weekends. Yeah, she wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs, right? There's only one way to find out.
Rollo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam.
Huckleberries.
He smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar and ink. What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
Aha!
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Mrs. Fratelli. A grand jamgram. It says, last night I used the disguise Eris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So, more of a bombshell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here. Silk is saying also not that much into heavily narrated games, so no worry on the spoilers there. Yeah, I like, especially for story games, like if I was playing like Factorio or I don't know, Subnautica, I don't feel like I'd be too worried about like random visitors getting the spoilers because there's so much of just the discovery, the moment to moment in it. With a story game, if you know the things coming up, that can really impact your enjoyment as it unfolds. So I just like to just let people know what they're in for. Oh, hold on, we have to do that more. Is there an achievement for, like, really getting a shape? Bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba ba. Okay.
A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy. Is your Gran a serial killer? 'Cause I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town out of the kindness of her heart. She put little symbols behind by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nuncreed has a check mark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My moms are... I lost her voice, hold on. My moms are both on here. Both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Eris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Kerr has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim! We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. So actually, we have a good sense of what it means, because, so, Gran wasn't wearing... So we've learned a lot right there. Gran wasn't wearing the suit because she's working for them. She was wearing the suit as a disguise to infiltrate the area. That's a lot different than what we thought, like, 20 minutes ago. Also, she's been actually trying to figure out who's part of the conspiracy or the company or whatever, because she's put a check mark next to people that we know are definitely part of the company, and she's crossed off people like Eris that she feels like she can work with. I had another thought on that just fell out of my head, so we're going to continue looking.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter. For a long moment, he just stared at it.
What do you got there?
It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages.
Silk says, been hoping you did another Oxygen Not Included stream. Really like those recent events here and there, seeing how you handle those issues, but I understand the desire to diversify. Yeah, we did one, Silk, yesterday? Was it? No. I think it was the day before yesterday. But we did do another one, and hopefully another one tomorrow morning. That'll be the goal.
He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it?
One sec.
Dense documents such as this are a lot like a cheeseburger. Best to skip straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live. Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of the preeminent scholar of dense documents and cheeseburgers. By all means, proceed.
He stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terrence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. Body temperature continues to drop, and he now describes soreness of muscles and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Mrs. Wilby just a few days past. Still waiting on lab results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nuncreed's name. Wait.
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
There's more scribbled in the margins. Could be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something else.
Rollo scanned through several more pages.
See, here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. This disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast, and with his wife passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind, exacerbated by the loss. If enough is enough, I need to take matters into my own hands.
Luca, staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Rollo rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luca frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullshit!
Luca slammed the drawer shut.
Silk is saying, nice, I'll see if I can make it tomorrow. I'm certain it wasn't yesterday, otherwise I would have been up past midnight. Yeah, yesterday was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I want to say the day before that we did another stream and got like some natural gas generation happening. Not enough, but at least some of it.
They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool. This looks like a treasure map. Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. It starts at the entrance to town, and if we follow it...
Rollo carefully traced the path with his finger.
It leads right to...
He jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square? That's the fountain in the middle of town. What a weird place to hide treasure. Rolo, that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of the path on that map has the same symbol as these explosives over here. So it's not hidden treasure? A real bummer. Rolo, what's that thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival. Oh. Did you just say gulp? This feels like a gulp kind of situation. Everyone will be gathered near the center of town. She's gonna blow up the festival! Not if we stop her. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
What was that? No, I heard it too. That was the front door. Which means someone just shut the door. Which means someone's upstairs. Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark. Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall. Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Hello? Oh, I know this dude. It's like Mr. Tolliver or something. Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down there?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump.
Yoo-hoo! I'm not here to hurt anyone.
Thump.
I'm just here to help. Just...
Thump. At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
Huh. Guess it's nothing.
Rolo shifted suddenly.
Shit.
Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rolo, don't.
It was too late. Rolo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rolo tackled the man to the ground.
Rolo! Creepy mystery man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Well, I didn't know I had it in me. But there was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rolo, that was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rolo. He's knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rolo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver, yeah, like, he has he could have been a clipboard, but he's not round enough, so I realized that it was Mr. Tolliver. Mr. Tolliver!
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
Oh, here we go. Chill cop interrogation, good cop, chill cop, good cop, hard cop, it should be, you'd think. Yeah.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rolo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, 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 Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Hey, Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the question here, punk.
Now hold on, let's just calm down.
Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're
The
sweating.
doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... Well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance!
What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You tied me down. How on earth could I dance?
Dance with your mouth, punk! Spill the beans! What are you doing poking around this house?
I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready.
Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran?
Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh?
Blow up the festival? Good
He
lord.
shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong.
Where is she now?
She's headed to the source.
Source? What's the source?
It's where...
His voice faded to a whisper.
It's where the town began. Where it all began.
What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
By the way, when was Good Cop gonna show up? Because I feel like we only got Hard Cop. Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began.
We need more information.
Yeah, but we'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know?
What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival.
Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about this source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Right now. Just appear here. This is a dang nice library. Thanks. We work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place from Ms. Novak sometimes. They got you working for free. It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo, I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know that I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sort of don't know.
What do you got on the history of the town?
There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading, but they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there. Hello to Intertooth. Hold on. Hello to Intertooth. Like Finny and Ferb, aren't you a little bit young to build X? Yeah, I guess we are. Everyone in this game is very young for what they're doing.
6 feet under, 3 towns over.
Including Gran.
The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of those asinine death records. Rollo Carter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal, and it won't be another boring county records that kills you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
I love how quickly Luca has sort of Beck has sort of like integrated in with the group. You're a county record. Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the obit, J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago? That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my Gran's name, Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your Gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Oh shit. Fake grandma. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. You can tell by how bright it is out the window there. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement.
What makes me think he's still unconscious, though?
Dealing with him would be the first order of business.
You're down there screaming his lungs out.
Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering. He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
All right. We'll probably just go do that. Oh, shit. Well, we didn't get in trouble for leaving the refrigerator door open and the tap on from last episode. Hello to Fox McCloud. Also, Intertooth is saying, by the way, was just in-game. Wait, which part, Intertooth, was in-game? Either way, Intertooth, no matter what, I do hope that you're heading into a nice weekend. Hopefully you don't have to work this weekend. Oh, no. Fox McCloud, same to you. I hope that you had a great Friday.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. I just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed, haha. Okay, now I can think. So, if Gran knows where we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. Also, I'm just like putting into my memory banks, Luca ate jam intended for creepy Mr. Nuncreed, who has like a very well-announced crush on grandmother. So, who knows what's in this jam, the way that I'm thinking about it. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Sure, I'll just go to sleep now that my stomach is full of jam. Pure crystallized sugar. To work out some of this extra energy I picked up. Just looking around really quick, just in case Mr. Tolliver dropped something, left something new in the environment. And he just went out the back. Oh, I didn't really expect that door to open, but sure, let's take a quick look around. No, I don't see anything. Foxcloud is saying, uh-oh. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play it cool. Foxcloud was saying, Luca, you may have an addiction.
As Luca climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him.
I can honestly say I don't think that I've ever just, like, spooned jam directly into my mouth.
With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The gym. Yeah. The gym. Oh, we did it. The mission was accomplished, although not in the way that we expected. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now, and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9.
Well, I noticed that Luca is sort of like face down, which is probably better than on his back, given the circumstances.
A speech to end all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
Okay, but Luca, what was the last thing you ate, friend?
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
And hello to Solid Chrome Hickey. Hickey, I'm not sure if you live in the United States, but if so, I hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving. And if not, I hope you had a great Thursday and Friday. Hopefully you didn't have to work today, and are into a wonderful weekend. Fox McCloud has spooned peanut butter a few times and ice cream. Also says hello to Solid Chrome Hickey. Nuncreed is a weirdo. Well, Yes and yes. First of all, Nuncreed, the fact that Nuncreed has a crush on Gran, that's fine. The fact that Nuncreed, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudges Gran's grandson about how much he wants to, like, get with his grandmother, that's a little weird. Hold on. That's a little weird. And also, on one of the timelines, he did grab Luca and forcibly shove him into the phone booth, which then turned out to be a delivery capsule to an underground facility. So Mr. Nuncreed is working with the bad guys or the sinister people. It's not exactly sure who's good and who's bad, but I think he's a bad guy. The festival. Can I get changed? No. I just feel a little bit self-conscious about wearing the outfit that I had on yesterday, and also is probably caked with dried puke. Silk says, shit happens, or sorry, that happens. Even I sometimes lurk in your stream and then you raid to somebody and I wasn't aware. Yeah, that has also happened to me, like, especially, you know what the #1 leading cause of, like, somebody finishing up their stream is? Me stepping away from the computer for, like, 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and the raid will have happened. And then I'm never sure exactly how long ago it's been, so it'll be like, do I do the raid call? Is it too late? Oh, we can't chill out on the chair. Whoops. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed put me to sleep. Whoa! Ho ho! Sly devil. Okay. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? Because, like, again, it's important to know that, like, we know Nuncreed is, like, a creepy dude who, like, is working for the wrong side, but Rolo and his friends don't know that, because that's, like, on a completely different timeline. Fox McCloud is saying, Angel sneezes, 3 raids happen. That's the way it goes sometimes. Hello to Maxine, and hello to Grumpy. I'm so glad Inner2 said hello again to Mr. Moo, because even though I'm looking directly at the chat and his name is bright green, I somehow managed to overlook it. As we're going, just a quick note, we're at a point in the story where it's dropping a lot of, like, plot relevant revelations, so I just like people to know when you, like, get to the point where it's like, hey, this might be, like, actual, like, real spoiler territory, so yeah, I do feel like we've arrived. Have you found anything? We looked around, but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found, but Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for his speech. What speech? Mayor Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing? Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and well, I suppose you already knew that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. That's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone!
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Get out of here. Let's hear it for our mayor.
What a great turnout. Aw, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be a shame to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at the perennial harvest. For us, these are the pillars to the these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. Okay. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community, first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
Now we walk hand in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, just a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town, and so it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim...
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest...
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
Caroluna says, here we go again. And Grumpy's saying, game over, done, everyone died.
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything. Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again. No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
So, I mean, we've been on this track for a while. I do want to see what else is happening in life, but I feel like switching between these major forks is just going to make it really confusing what all has happened. So let's stick with this one. The Beginner's Guide to Hostile Interrogation. We can try Sly or Chill. I want to do Chill because we did not have that one. Sorry, we didn't have Sly before. Chill was the other one that we didn't choose. Fox McCloud says, yeah, we should quit. Assassin's Creed time! Okay, good cop, chill cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool. Can I just say I honestly thought Beck was gonna be chill cop?
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times.
I guess it does make sense that she would be Sly cop, though.
Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell
He
rung.
looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake.
Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down?
No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Why would you name your friends, though?
Rolo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Yeah, it's a weird decision, Luca. Just maybe not mention your co-conspirators.
Well, all right. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement?
I'm here to help, of course.
Help with what? What's my gran up to?
If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you.
How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Intertooth is noting that the next Saturday D&D section will be just over 24 hours from now. Over on Samlander's channel. I am looking forward to it.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you?
No?
And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming?
Yeah?
So why would I turn my back on your family now?
It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town? An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient
Luca
notes?
gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives?
I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad.
This'll all make sense in time. He's backing up towards the stairs.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
I percepted it.
See, this town has many secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought to...
Punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Never trust squirrels.
My...
Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. Let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
I know this is going to sound weird, Tolliver, but we've seen the adults handle this twice now. It doesn't work out for us. Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought that it was going to be like, maybe they'd have a big conversation for a while, like past the, because it's like 24 hours before the festival.
Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
All right, so I guess we stay on this track and this time go sly. I really like this detective music in the background.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What? What's going on here? You're that Modewell girl. Please, call me Beck. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
to...
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, that old girl is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone was to find out we're gonna destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You're sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day, I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. Wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So, we have a password and nowhere to put it. It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies. It might be all the explosives.
Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
So, just out of curiosity, does Tolliver think that Beck knocked him out? Because she seems a little small for that. You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh! It's an anagram! Nuncreed's drugstore. Wait, is it seriously? What was the phrase? Underground something?
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Yeah, no shit. I'm really bad at anagrams. You guys know, I think a lot of people in chat, Mia has this like words on stream game. When I'm not guessing, that's not because I'm not participating. I don't see any words. Like, I'm super bad at like Scrabble and like word scrambles and stuff. Well, it's either that or Kren's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. What was the phrase? Underground... What was it? Rummage? Oh, this is Mrs. Fratelli, who runs the diner. Fox McCloud's like, nude rug store? Where is this place for science reasons? I don't remember her name. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear, that man would be late to his own funeral. Look, we let him go this time. No, wait, that was the wrong button. B. Okay, yeah. Just making sure we were heading in the right direction. You're late, Augustus.
Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work.
Work? You?
I had a few more details to lock down for the festival.
Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about?
I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him.
I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town.
Was.
Excuse me?
This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help.
We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground.
This is just a temporary arrangement.
The glow can be seen from from our damned backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all of this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think shall be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change, whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past?
It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus.
Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow.
Fox McCloud used to hang rugs, so thought it was funny. It's getting late, children. Farewell. I hope you didn't overhear the very incriminating conversation that we were having in the middle of the town hall square. Wait, yes, it is this way.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where did you get all that candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Thought we might not always have wow, this is good. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Licorice kept licorice... Hi. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold, hard cash. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Well, we might as well just look at the door first. Nope. Okay. We can't look in the window. We check out... We know there's something sinister about this telephone booth. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing?
Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad?
Kren's new drugstore! I mean, Underground Secrets.
So wait, Underground Secrets, is that actually an anagram for Nuncreed's drugstore? I feel like it's not enough characters. I'm not going to sit here and like rearrange them, but...
The password!
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something.
Great, now what?
I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it!
You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth?
Of course I did! Didn't I just say that?
No.
Well, I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real?
Rolo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic.
That's why I'm such a good predictor.
It looks like each of these has something written on them. Oh, so that's what we check out. But also the papers, can we look at those? No? Also, this looks like the suit that Luca smashed open. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? Well, at least we found their hazmat suit.
If it walks like a Nuncreed and it talks like a Nuncreed...
Let's not jump to conclusions.
Just saying.
Okay, let's check out the tubes. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here?
Not that I know of.
This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes.
Paul always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold.
I'm not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation.
That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late.
Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works.
What does she do?
Science stuff. Is she involved in all this? Well, we just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place?
This is starting to feel like something big.
It's almost like Hyperloop, but if it actually existed and functioned in any way. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Willow's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Maybe don't stand there. Rolo, what did you do?
Nothing.
I didn't even mow yet.
Oh, what was that?
Hide!
Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here.
Just get back. I really like the animation in this. It makes me laugh almost anytime anything happens.
Shit.
Shit. Shit.
Awesome! You all need to come with me now.
We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets?
I told them it was an absurd password, but they love anything that makes them feel clever.
They who?
That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins.
We don't care about our skins.
Oh, hold on now, I kinda like my skin.
This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back
He
before
gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this.
That's a lie.
It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee.
What happened?
Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks.
So you were his sidekick?
No, we were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him.
Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us, says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand, and he was willing to pay us, both handsomely, to help him understand it.
And my dad said no.
Your father and I both believed in helping people, but the thing I could never get him to understand was it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then.
Classic sidekick into villain plotline.
Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, "Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone."
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
Is there a point to this sob story?
Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Luca, you really need some impulse control on what information you choose to share.
Juniper.
Seems like she's planning on crashing the town party.
She's gonna disrupt the festival? Why would she...
Color drained from Nuncreed's face.
Wait, he's covered in fur, though. Did his fur go gray?
How does she know?
Apparently she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say this isn't the only underground layer we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's gonna do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy.
She's in danger, boy. Not danger, comma, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square.
The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source?
What the heck is the source?
If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that sounds pretty far-fetched there, Nuncreed.
You all need to run.
Run where?
Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. YOLO! You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera, as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along.
Carom? I feel like I've never heard that word before.
She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Jolene was saying, nah, nothing freezes. And Fox McCloud is saying, I drink my milk, it'll be fine. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. And he went first, too, which means that now that's on us. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold.
Doesn't look like it got on any of us.
Didn't feel like we traveled that far. Rollo's really locked in on the important questions. And I have to say that in this case, I do agree with Rollo.
It didn't... So where did it all go?
This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow up something out here? The only way to find out, only one way to find out, I suppose. We gotta catch up to Nuncreed. He looks like a pretty spry fellow. I think he went this way. He didn't leave any footprints that way, though. Like we're leaving right now. I guess the wind is blowing them out of existence really quickly. So this is where, I'm just letting you guys know, this is where Rollo's father is. Like, I recognize this map. Suddenly I'm really glad that we've checked these areas from time to time, because this is where Luca's father is buried. And that would mean that this is where Luca's house isn't. Yep. This looks
Familiar, yeah.
Maybe we can clear off the snow? No time. Nuncreed's getting away. Okay. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Hey, I got it! It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien! Rolo. Stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective? Kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pines citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. Get used to it. We should keep moving. Or you get used to it. I wanted to look at these barrels, but apparently that's the big toxic waste barrels are not worthy of consideration. Also, we can't go north. There's a new fence that's been put up here. So is this, and this is a rhetorical question, this feels like time travel? Like they went into the tube and came out to a very different version of the world that they left behind? I guess it could be dimensional travel?
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not gonna solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town.
Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Lowenbach held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing.
How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not
They
true.
both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas of how to affect change.
Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets.
No, that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to, well, we've only got the one option.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This'll all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall.
Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence. Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever.
Has it occurred to anybody that we're really bad at this?
And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire.
As Carolina says, this game is getting colder. Also, Fox McCloud had said, hey everyone, remember all that shit you gave me about my parents being gone? Well, where's yours?
On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Okay, so we've done all the cop versions, we've done all that. So now we're off on, now we're back onto the other timeline, which I think is the one where we're super chill. I'm actually trying to remember. Whoops. Okay. So there's one new option that we have, which is flight. Apparently running away. Oh, to run away from the clipboards. I think when they come to the so when the clipboards come to the treehouse, we tried firing the gun at them, and that was a big wet fart, and then nothing happened, and they were like advancing on Rollo and Luca. I guess maybe if we run away instead of fighting them, this is our new option.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight.
So just to like rewind a whole bunch, this is where we ended episode 1. This was sort of the cliffhanger ending at the end of that. But this time, instead of firing the weapon,
He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
wow, I can't believe that worked. Also, we're with, I forget this kid's name, but the kid that got, like, splashed, he got pushed into, like, the toxic waste. Hey, Mr. Kerr, we'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. Yeah, see you, jerks. Meanwhile, Mia jumps down onto the grass and just runs away because she hates zip lines. Fine. We know where that leads them. This way. We'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice.
By the way, I don't think that we've seen any, like, the whole world gets frozen endings on this particular branch of the story tree.
In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5.
Foxconn is asking, wait, what's this with Mia and ziplines? Maybe it's particular to Horizon Zero Dawn, but one thing that I've noticed is that Mia goes to significant lengths to go like around zip lines, and I think it's because she wants to explore, and I don't think she likes the fact that the zip line is like a straight like shot from this place over to that place when she wants to explore every place between those two things. So in Horizon, she has shown me areas of the game that I did not know existed, because she sort of like will work her way down. Like she'll jump off of a mountain, find like a cliff to grab onto. It's she's very thorough about exploring, but because of that, she doesn't like to use zip lines because they sort of like skip from A to B.
Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
So wait, where did they zipline to then? Because this is...
That was actually pretty badass.
I think we lost him.
Are we up in the mountains?
I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. So, yeah, it's definitely not time travel unless their MCDC zipline had some unique properties.
And what's up with the Winter Wonderland?
I don't remember this guy's voice.
Yeah, we're gonna shake you down. There we go. What's up with this Winter Wonderland?
All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. So, I guess immediately next to Beacon Pines, there's a virtually identical landscape that's already been frozen to death.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover!
If it is, I've never seen one like it. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr!
I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods. I thought it was Rolo, but it's Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks. The young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
And we gotta keep moving!
I do hope that the final version of the story that we have does not involve having pushed this, like, admittedly, like, little piece of crap into the toxic waste. I really don't like this particular version of events.
What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's a bit down from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Yeah, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with.
So, then this sign doesn't say Beacon Pines. I really want to know what it does say.
What's all this?
It's hard to say with all this snow.
I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there.
What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weepwood.
I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with. Step 1, snow's gotta go.
I'll see what I can do. So I don't know how Samalander probably knows. Oh, here it is. So 258 Kelvin. I was literally about to ask this, Carolina, so I appreciate it. Is negative 15 degrees centigrade or 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So rather significantly below freezing, but not like lethally so. Okay, so I don't have any way to clear the snow right now. Unless I do? Oh.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense.
We're in Beacon Pines?
How is that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here?
I guess we got turned around?
Where did all this snow come from?
Well, it's been colder than normal lately.
There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape.
The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source.
You think it's related? What the hell is going on?
We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. So, okay, alternate idea. There was a town of Beacon Pines. It was under some sort of threat of danger, so they built an identical town with all the same structures and everything, like a few miles to the west, and then like moved everybody at night. I'm like, I don't know. Even with that idea, it doesn't explain how like natural features like the river and stuff would be exactly where they are.
The fencing listened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weepwood.
The stuff who put up?
I don't know.
It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run. Innertooth is saying, well, hold on. Fox was kind of saying everyone seems to know what our mom, needs to know our mom like it's Xbox Live. Yeah, no one is more famous on Xbox Live than your mom. Oh, look, we can actually walk across the ice. Also, hello to Maxine. Innertooth is saying negative 15 centigrade will kill you if you don't have the proper gear. Oh, yeah, but it's not like Luca has like on a sweater and also a thick coat of fur. He's not going to be dead like instantly, like every time that the ice explosion happens. That's all I was thinking. Innertooth saying I've been out in negative 10 degrees centigrade. I was really happy that I invested in a good sleeping bag. Maxine says, yeah, for sure. Fun fact, negative 40 is the same in both Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone.
What?
There's nothing here but more snow.
There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking.
You can look all you want. I quit.
Iggy, we have to keep going.
You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't gonna save the day. We aren't even gonna save ourselves. My face is mangled. This town is destroyed, and everyone we've ever known is gone.
We don't know that. You can't just quit.
Do whatever you want. I'm done.
Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
This reminds me of 13 Sentinels in that it's got a lot of, like, mystery to it, and the best ideas I have about what's going on consistently don't fit with the facts, and yet I can't think of anything more sensible, so I'm really enjoying this.
The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to say it, but thanks.
Huh? Also, yeah, I'm with you. Huh? Because your face is mangled because of, well, I mean, truth be told, Iggy did have a role in it, but Luca did it, personally.
For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there.
Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper.
Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right?
Of course not.
And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper.
Alright, I might need to pause for a second to get a drink. But I did lose my temper. That was me muting for a second to,
Iggy motioned
cough.
sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done.
Huh?
I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works.
Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you?
Course. Jeez, you goody-good types take forever to understand this very basic point.
Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
Something to do.
You're an asshole because you're bored?
Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept. Oh,
Whoops. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life.
My life is not perfect. Right, like, Iggy, you were mocking him for his missing parents, so...
Everybody in town likes you.
Not everybody.
Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you.
You have Tish.
he wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh, it must be raining out here.
Yeah, definitely.
He arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep, and also literally not out in the middle of the, like, alleyway. This is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all of this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca,
Yeah?
I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse.
What did you think?
Not bad.
I'll give you the full tour when we get back.
You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to the worst days of my entire life,
This one wasn't half bad. Holy shit, kid. What have you been through? As far as I remember, this is the same day that he got disfigured. What is all bad, Iggy? I'm not sure I want to know the answer to that, though.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me. Hold on, before we meet this new rabbit person that I don't think that we've met before, Carolina was saying lots of mysteries and especially lots of timelines. I love it. Yeah, and that can make it, like, I'm trying to keep track what happens on what path so that I can make sure to share that as we go. I might occasionally be wrong with it, but it's a complicated sort of like storyline to follow because it has so many different branches that it goes down. Foxman is saying, I would have hunkered into the house regardless of how tired I was. Yeah, I would think it really, really, really important because at these temperatures with the gear that especially Luca has on, you might feel very tired, lay your head down to rest, and not open your eyes again. So, like, being inside would be really important. Get out of that wind we can hear. Timelines can be very confusing, but I love it, says Carolina. Agreed. And then Fox is saying, I think this one is a mouse with a thin tail. Oh, could it be? Oh, you're right. I see the thin tail now.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
I mean, this feels like it's going to be a character, so, you two certainly have caused a lot of commotion.
What's that supposed to mean?
Take it easy, Iggy.
We weren't asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads.
Sorry if I hurt you, Iggy.
You didn't hurt nobody.
Anybody.
Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me,
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-headed, scoffy-necked furball.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no. Luca, let's not lower the temperature a little bit. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's just all calm down. Who are you? I'm a friend, an observer, a hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Oh, that just clears it right up. Thank you so much. I'm Luca. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz?
Oh, there we go. Oh, he's gonna write about that in his journal tonight. Zing! Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait! Do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that.
Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not?
Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are.
All right, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here, one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, and open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe, or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. Wow, Luca just did 1, 2, 3 on the 3 theories that I've shared. He just knocked them all down. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful.
Just give it to us straight.
So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines, the original true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless.
That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town.
Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power, which could be moved, would be moved. Oh, sorry, that which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. A brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane.
And Iggy looked around uncomfortably.
So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed?
Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover...
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
the source.
Why'd you say the source like that?
Why, indeed.
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could...
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy! It's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through the Weepwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks.
Okay, I don't know why she's not reading this. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth.
He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard. A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time, I thought I was visiting you, but you've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply. Just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh.
Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy.
Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide.
259 Kelvin. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is
He
overrated.
bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey! Don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah? Come on. It's almost lunchtime.
If anybody wasn't looking directly at the screen, he did a little like dance two-step out of the scene.
Weirdo.
And here I thought I was a jerk. Thank God we're still not leaving footprints, huh, Luca? These dinguses are out here literally dancing on
Luca
graves.
stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some
Icky
advice.
gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey!
Who's any of this helping?
What?
Sitting here in the snow, crying like some pushover? Who you helping?
Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone.
Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you, acting like a horse's ass,
I should stand up for myself.
hell yeah! Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled this switcheroo off for a reason, right?
Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to Perennial Harvest.
Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate would have happened to their precious source, wouldn't it?
What do you have in mind?
If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we should smash it, preferably with some sort of a lit torch if you catch my drift.
And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge.
I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do this. I think this is Mr. Kerr.
It can get awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way.
Where's Rolo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her?
Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Aw, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings.
Screw that guy. So just super quick, Sam Melander was saying if you've ever been out in the elements, did I read this before? And you've been cold. I read it before, but I don't know if I said it aloud. If you've ever been out in the elements and you've been very cold and you start to feel too warm, you're close to dying of hypothermia. You're certainly experiencing hypothermia. And sometimes if you're feeling too hot, one of your impulses is like take off your protective gear because you're like, I'm too hot. And then sometimes you actually just are too hot, which can make it difficult. So just be careful out in the elements, kids. As Fox McCloud says, they stole my tree. Can't have shit in Beacon Pines. Yeah, they took everything. Intertooth is saying, Sam Lander, I haven't been that cold, but I have been cold enough that a warm room actually hurt my body, and I have to raise my body temperature slowly to negate pain. I remember being outside when I was young, and like, outside like playing in the snow and shoveling and playing in the snow and doing some more shoveling and coming back in, and it was so cold that it actually felt like just the regular cold tap water was really, really warm. And I remember being struck by that. Like, I know this is cold, but it feels warm. I wonder if that's dangerous. Like thousands, Intertooth, like thousands of tiny needles stabbing into my body. I think that's all your nerves waking back up, Intertooth. Sam Lander says, nothing like stepping back outside to cool down just so you can warm up. All right, so I don't think we can go west into Weepwood, and this is frozen shut, I assume. Can we go down here? No.
Hey, wait a minute. What if this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that?
Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff.
So why did you bury it under a tree?
Well, that's the long part of the story. You and Rolo were doing some chores at Rolo's chicken coop, and you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
Flaming chicken coop. No, you
He
didn't.
stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things.
You blew up the chicken coop?
I prefer to think of it as incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you two should have seen the looks on your faces.
Rolo got grounded for months.
Which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried them under that tree. But when I came back for them later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up had found them and tossed them.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out, it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us.
Unbelievable. Okay, new inventory item. Primo fireworks.
Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head.
A hero is just someone who refuses to give up.
Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero.
I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself.
Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are.
Prepare for blast-off, loser. Oh no. They're gonna throw their fireworks down here? That's worse than a lit torch. Hold on, I do want to just see if there's any other place to go. Nope. Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to be thorough.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Okay, so there was an echo thing there. It happened very quickly. Whoa! I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now.
But why would they dig a giant hole?
I think this is it.
This is the source? It's a dang hole? How do we smash a hole?
Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr! Where's Rolo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source where they can collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. The fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know.
What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge?
Oh, heavens, no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us?
You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way.
Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey.
The point is, when we all play our part in life, mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight.
Your smile's not gonna be winning after we're done with you.
Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking?
Because I got a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop. Let's not do something regrettable.
Joke's on you. Regret's one of my specialties. Have you seen my face? Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole?
Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I am an exceptional liar.
Bup, that's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool.
Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down.
What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Oh! Whoa!
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca.
Oh shit.
Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child! What have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back.
What channel do I use?
It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it.
This is a hardcore kid. Jesus Christ. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know, I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phileas
With
Young.
a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Pum dum dum. Wow, can you even believe this guy?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we found the hum badge.
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kurt, just let go.
No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend.
Yes, you are.
Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr.
Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies.
I can't.
It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
Calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once.
Luca had no choice but to hum Iggy's request. I mean, honest to God, I want to see both of these. The thing is, I'm concerned that accept is actually the right answer. Like, it's going to actually, like, propel us further. So I want to see refuse.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Oh, what a bummer that the end happens to be like the entirety of page 73.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
So, based on where we are, let's... Oh, wait. Yeah, no, let's continue on for at least a bit more. Let's go back to accept. Because that worked out the way that I thought. I was like, no, I don't think refuse is going to prove to be the right answer. And I want to see what was going to happen.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Did he like those as he fell? Salmon says, you know you're in an interesting game when the I'm afraid this is the correct choice and sends us on, so I'm going to choose the other one. Yeah, no kidding. Like, you want to see all the different outcomes. It's also a little bit of a unique game because in most narrative games, I only want to, like, I want to commit to my answers. But when a central game mechanic is going back to explore other, like, story choices, then I want to see as much as I can. And hello to Borlak, who's disappointed to realize that it doesn't say bacon pines. Yeah, not nearly enough swine in town for it to be bacon pines. Also, that would be super dark if all the sapient pigs were running around a town called Bacon Pines. Luca, you really should step back. What? Quickly. Curious. But of course, those fireworks of Iggy's must have meant just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempus liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being By adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks make the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think of what would have happened in that
We
case.
have some idea what that would look like.
Yes. Well done, narrator. Borlak is saying, oh, come on, Angel, if you're going to give them completely different voices, at least do some accents. I'm trying. There's so many characters in this. It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, as it turned out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Okay, that's a really good point to pause. I really like that. So we're gonna call this episode 3 of Beacon Pines. This game continues to delight. It turns out that the third and final prediction that I had on why we had a frozen version of Beacon Pines and also a fine version was accidentally correct. I guess I guessed it eventually, which makes me smart and intuitive. After all the wrong answers, I hit on the right one just before it was revealed. But no, this game is great. I continue to really enjoy this. And yeah, as Cara Luna said, the combination of mystery and interestingly written characters, like I'm doing my best to punctuate the different characters as, you know, at least a little bit here and there with different voices and stuff. But what I like about the writing is that all of the characters clearly have their own voice. Rolo talks differently from Beck, who talks differently from Luca, who talks differently from Mr. Van Horn. Like, their use of contractions, their language is different, and the way they express themselves is noticeably different just in the writing. And by the way, I'm like looking at this like, who wrote this? Like, where did this come from? I'm really like, I'm very enamored of the story that it's telling and the way in which it's unfolding. This feels like the perfect blending of writing, intent, tone, and artwork, along with like the game mechanics that they wanted to put into it. Really enjoying this from start to finish. So we're gonna call it here for episode 3. Oh, that's right. We can't exit out because then it'll just go to the black screen. So instead, we'll just call it here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again for episode 4 a little bit later in the weekend. And until then, I hope you have a great night.